and we're here to express my organization's opposition to the proposal of Dripping Springs to discharge almost 1 million gallons of treated sewage into Onion Creek each and every day. Think about that, just shy of 1 million gallons a day. And not only is that a direct threat to Onion Creek, which is a hill country treasure, a pristine, beautiful creek, as others have pointed out, it's also directly upstream of the recharge zone for the aquifer, the portion of the Barton Springs Edwards Aquifer that feeds Barton Springs. So it's also a direct threat to Barton Springs and the salamander and the people who swim in this water body. So even though the discharge is treated, it still contains nitrates and phosphates that will cause algae blooms, that will choke off oxygen that fish need, so it can lead to fish kills. So stinky water, dead fish, we don't want to do that.
We've been following wastewater in the hill country for quite a while now, and I can tell you firsthand from the information we've seen that it's already a threat to our water quality. We're already seeing problems from wastewater that's being land applied, and while land application is the preferred method in the hill country, we're now facing increased pressures for direct discharge, and that's what Dripping Springs is proposing, to directly discharge their effluent into Onion Creek, one of the most pristine and iconic waterways in the Texas Hill Country.
One of our big concerns with this is the public health issue. There's a whole segment of the creek directly downstream of the discharge point. We've counted about 140 people that are really close by, within a couple of miles. If you go further down the creek, there's several hundred individual domestic wells.
And it turns out that for 40 or 50 years, you have not been able to make any direct discharge into any of the Highland lakes, that is Lake Travis, Lake LBJ, Lake Marble Falls, and Lake Buchanan. And in that time, since 1972, the village of Lakeway has had prodigious growth. And they go so far as, I went to their website, and it says, "We collect and treat wastewater to stringent standards. Because of the Highland Lakes rule, we cannot discharge recycled water into the river or Lake Travis. We must evaporate it. Being required to do so is an expensive proposition. Because of this, we have huge reuse holding ponds, irrigation areas, and a very innovative landscape reuse irrigation water system. In spite of these challenges, we have one of the lowest water rates in the area." So it can be done. And if it's good enough for the Highland Lakes, I say it's good enough for the most sensitive aquifer in the state of Texas.
It would also set a truly nasty precedent. If they get away with this, as Steve Beers just suggested, other localities are likely to follow suit and discharge their treated effluent into sensitive waterways here in the hill country. And that would lead to really the ruination of the hill country. The reason we come here is for clean water. And we can't stand by and watch Dripping Springs be the bad neighbor that it apparently seems determined to be.
A lot of people from Austin that are concerned about the aquifer, concerned about the springs, and that's good and that's important. But we also have friends and neighbors out in Dripping Springs that are opposed to it. And they will be at the hearing on the 10th, and we need to have a big group of Austinites show up to support them, to let them know they're not alone.
We want to see zero direct discharge into Onion Creek. Yeah. So please send a letter to your city council members.
If you feel like sending us your second-hand pollution, we poo-poo that solution. Oh, if you feel like sending us your second-hand pollution, we poo-poo that solution.